So that was a description of the Russell Wilson moonball, the pass to Bo Collins, 80-yard touchdown, or not touchdown pass. He was actually down at the 1, and then I think Singletary pushed it in from there. But guys, from the Giants' standpoint in preseason, all the quarterbacks look good. Don't know what that means when it comes regular season time. We'll talk about that. You know, a lot of people are hyped up over this, but you know, it is preseason. We need to be aware of that. So we are the 3 Angry Giant fans today and a Jets fan, and we have a special guest today. So it's your host, Scott, Giant Mike, and Jets fan Novak, and we also have our Cowboys fan, Peacock, in the house. Peacock Corner can be live.
Live Peacock Corner.
Does that mean Cardone is sending in questions?
It's funny. I have Peacock's questions. I'll read them, and he can add to them as we go on.
There we go. Yeah, so. He can add context.
One specifically for Mike Hisman, so we'll see.
All right.
So, Peacock, how's the off-season and preseason been before we get into anything else here for you?
I don't think it could be any worse as a Cowboy fan. I mean, they hired Schottenheimer, who was horrible. And then the preseason, they've looked like a high school team. It's vanilla, and they can't do anything right. And their best defensive player doesn't want to play there. So as a Cowboy fan, it's been horrible.
Well, you get to dive into the depths of where we've been for like the regular season games. So
right.
Are things getting squared away with Parsons? I kind of heard that maybe that was settling down, Brian.
This morning they said Rappaport, I think ESPN said it's different this time. It's more personal, and they think they just don't like each other, Parsons and Jones now. And Jones is he's like the at his age with his money, he doesn't have to. He can just be a jerk. If it doesn't go his way, he can just say, "I don't care. I have all the money in the world." And I think that's what he's doing here, and it's kind of scary actually.
Well, you got to be a little bit nervous because, if you watch any of the Giant fan boards or listen to Giant fans, they're going to the friggin' Super Bowl because of Dart. So, I mean, good God, the overreaction. My God.
Hey, Peacock has a question about Dart, so don't throw shade on that yet. So
don't worry.
So before we get into it, let's give a shout out. So last week we had a bunch of people from New Jersey signing in like we normally do. So we're going to go back to Jersey for this one. So nice. Hello, Bayonne, New Jersey. Population 71,700. It's in Hudson County, but it was formed as a township in 1861 from Bergen Township. And the name comes from Bayonne, France. So hopefully we don't get involved in a war with Bayonne, New Jersey being involved. It's the home of Rich Glover, former Giant defensive lineman, and also Shaq.
Oh, that's right. Shaq is from Bayonne. That's right. I forgot about that.
From Bayonne, yeah.
How about it?
Bayonne, right outside the great town of Hoboken, where I lived for a number of years. A good place.
Yeah, it is right here. As usual, I have brought this up in Wikipedia, and I'm checking it out as we go. Yeah, it's nestled right in there, right across from, looks like Brooklyn, between the Newark Bay and the Upper Bay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I used to like that going when you would go to that part of Jersey. You could just look right across the view and see the New York City and all the buildings.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Hoboken.
It's around the Statue of Liberty area. So, yeah, that's kind of lame. I usually try to come up with something funny or witty about the town, and I got nothing here. I got absolutely nothing.
Well, I'll tell you this: you don't want to say anything negative about Bayonne, or you might not be living. So just stay away from negative comments about Bayonne, New Jersey.
Keep it down about Bayonne, Mike.
Yeah,
you're fine
you're
picking
fine.
on Antelopeville.
It's the greatest place on the planet. Just saying.
Nothing about waste management, Mike.
All right, I will back it down. Message received.
So as Peacock looks on to our two teams, he would have seen a vigorous display of hand-to-hand combat during the Snoopy Bowl this year. So bragging rights go to the Giants.
Congratulations, boys.
I can't believe it. I was over the moon. I couldn't go to sleep for like 2 nights straight. I'm running on caffeine here.
Yep. It's a big deal. We got a Snoopy Bowl win under our belt. The Jets have kind of dominated us in the Super Bowl or Snoopy Bowl competition. over the years. So yeah, it's good to get one, and I'm sure that'll go in the trophy case next to the Lombardis.
Not only did you win, but you beat our ass. I mean, it wasn't even close. So
yeah.
Congrats, you guys are the best. You're going to the Super Bowl. What do you got? The Snoopy Bowl. The Super Bowl is next.
Well, we opened with the Russell Wilson throw on the 80-yarder to Bo Collins, but Jaxson Dart was very impressive in that game. But I'll tell you what, Wilson throws a great deep ball, and as soon as I was talking about the way he floats things up there, he floated one up, and of course there was a miscommunication with the wide receiver, and it ended up being picked. So that's what happens in the preseason. Carter had a welcome to the NFL moment. I don't know if you saw that, Novak. He got slapped around a bit, thrown to the ground.
Pancakes.
So I was actually going to go there if you threw it to me about my take on the Jets. But what I will say is to Abdul Carter, dude, you got blown up by our backup tackle and a tight end that's not going to make the team. Stop it with the tweets. Have some humility. You haven't done anything in the pros yet. I think he's going to be great. But dude, come on. Be better. Don't be tweeting that. What do you say? The only highlight the Jets are going to have all year? Get out of here, dude. Like, come on. He's going to be great, but it was fun to see that, I got to say.
I mentioned it in the last week, but the best thing I took away from this is that we are an NFL team. We belong in the league. And the other part I loved about this is, I don't know if we're going to see this in the regular season, but Elijah Chapman was lining up. He's a defensive player. He's lining up as fullback, and he absolutely blew some people away in some running plays. So I love the fact that we just are experimenting with things in the in the preseason. So I don't know if that'll translate to anything at all.
I disagree with you just a little bit. I just don't know where you're getting that we're suddenly an NFL team from 2 preseason games. Things have gone our way. Things have looked okay. But and of course, no, I don't recall the past few preseasons at all. They don't even exist in my brain. But I've got to see this live. I can't. I have zero. My excitement meter for this season is pegged on 0. I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying I don't see reasons to be optimistic. I do. And like I said last week, Dart looks really good, and it's not just the stat numbers. He's getting the ball to the right people. He's getting it out on time. He moves around. It all looks really good, but I got this feeling that it's looked good before, and the bottom has come out. So, I know what Novak was talking about at the top. I see it. I feel it on Twitter and everywhere. Giants fans are fired up right now, and I'm not one of them. I still think we're last place in the division. I don't think we're sniffing the playoffs. And yeah, that's just one person's opinion.
Well, I'm going to contradict myself, Mike, even later in the show, because although I'm giddy about the preseason and the way it's happened, I know that overreacting to preseason is one of those pitfalls you're going to have, and it may show up in a pet peeve or something like that going forward.
Maybe.
But I'm just giving some foreshadowing that might happen. But, it's one of those things where I feel like in previous preseasons in the last few years, we have looked like we are just scraping by. We're not doing well, even our ones against the other team's ones. And at least now we're competitive. So in that regard, I feel like we've raised ourselves up to the NFL level, as minimal as that is. So.
Yeah, I mean, we don't look like the Stooges out there, which we have in the past. I know. So.
I'm completely jealous. I got to be honest, because I think you see your pieces starting to finally come. You're at that stage where you see it coming. I agree with you, Mike. I don't think they're going to be any good. I think 6 wins, maybe something like that. But you can see it all starting to come together, the different pieces. And then I love how they are coaching Dart. Like they threw him in apparently on one play, and they didn't tell him he was going in because he always has to be ready or whatever that thing was that Daboll did. The kid just has the right demeanor. He's answering the questions the right way. He looks the part. That touchdown pass he threw to Dulcich, I think it was impressive. Because if you watch he had the tight end Dulcich, streaking down the middle in between 4 defenders, and he had other guys open on the right and left side, knowing though that had he thrown there, I think they get tackled out of bounds, and that was just a perfect pass, right on the numbers,
Yeah,
right decision. It was his third look. I don't think it was his first or second look. Impressive. So I think you guys clearly have something. I don't want to, give too much credit, but you're onto something for sure.
You know what I
We'll
didn't
ruin
like
him.
about that play to Dolchik, though, was that's a play you never saw with Jones, and all of a sudden
Never.
we're pulling it out in a preseason game, and it's like,
That
save
wasn't that's not a rookie throw in
No, it's not a
general.
rookie throw. It's not.
I mean, that's what was impressive. I don't see rookies making that throw, which was, yeah, he looked real good. What did he have? 13 straight completions?
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
I might be I might have the most confidence in the Giants on this podcast. That's amazing. I'll tell you one thing. The reason I think the Giants are going to be the surprise team, and I think they're going to be really good, is because Dart looks so good. Why wouldn't they start him? And to me, the answer is because Dable knows he's got something, and he doesn't want to let a rookie ruin it. And I think they're going to be the Skins of last, or not the Skins, the Commanders of last year. I'm very fearful of the Giants. I think that defensive line's a killer.
oh,
The
so
offensive
good.
line's getting better, and I think that they got a veteran back there in the quarterback. I think they're going to be, I don't know, I think they're going to be better than people think.
I'll believe it when I see it.
I loved hearing that, but then again, when we had Peacock on last year in the preseason, he was very high on the Giants then. He said we would be better than the Cowboys, so...
Well, and I also said that the Redskins would win like 2 games, and they went to the championship game. So my predictions aren't great, but I will say this: I think the Jets are going to be horrendous this year, and I cannot believe. And I like the Jets. Even as a kid, I always liked the Jets in the AFC. And I'll tell you what, watching that game the other night, I'm like, are the Jets going to win 3 games this year? That's on. What's the over under in Vegas for the Jets?
4.5.
It's 4.5, and I put a lot of money over it.
It might be under. It might be under. I mean, my God, and Justin Fields, I know how Mike feels about him. I don't know, man. The Jets do not look good. I don't know. And we don't know about Aaron Glenn. Is he going to be any good, or is he just going to be pretend Bill Parcells again? I mean, you don't know.
Yeah, we'll talk about
saying and doing the right things.
Yeah.
We'll talk about Fields here in a second, and Novak, I'm going to open up the floor to you for the Jets game. I will say this though: one thing I like about the Jets is I think they're on the right track with Aaron Glenn. I love the fact they have a Jet guy. They have a guy who was under Parcells. They have a guy who wants to bring back culture. I think you're on the right road there. I don't think the quarterback's right, but we'll talk about that in a minute. So I'll take your thoughts first on the game.
Yeah, look, I totally agree with what you just said. I was going to kind of go there, the same thing. I think you need 4 pieces, right? In the NFL, you need a coach, you need a GM, you need a roster, and you need a quarterback. I think they got 3 of 4. They just don't have a quarterback, and so that is going to be what kills them. I am completely frustrated already by Justin Fields, and he hasn't barely played. But you can just tell, even just watching on the short time that he's on the field, he can't throw. I mean, we said it when they got him. Mike Hisman has been calling that he shouldn't be in the league 3 years ago. He's so bad, and it's going to take. Well, it's Tyrod Taylor. But he's.
I'll tell you what, they had a good-looking backup in the preseason.
Martinez, that's not going to happen.
No, Martinez.
They looked pretty bad altogether, but I also don't think that's a bad thing. In the preseason, like get out a lot of this poor play and sloppy play out of the way and let Aaron Glenn rip into them, which is what he will do, which I do like, because Saleh would have just, all gas, no break and all this cliche BS and just cheerleader, slap him on the ass kind of guy. We don't need that anymore. Like this team and this organization needs a real kick in the ass. And I think Glenn's going to do that. There were some pieces I thought that looked pretty decent. I love Braylon Allen still. He looked okay. The offensive line is solid. I think they held the Giants pretty much in check when the first teams were out there. The Giants got pressure, but not as much as they did the previous week. I don't know. I don't know how far we want to go in preseason. I'm concerned about this year, but I don't know if that I care as much as long as the culture is right. They're a young team. They got good players that they've locked up for years in Wilson and Gardner. They've got cornerstone pieces as far as 2 bookend offensive linemen. We just got to get the quarterback. That's all it comes down to. And so if they go 3-14 and they draft first and they get Arch Manning, Super Bowl, baby. So we'll see how this year goes. I have no idea right now. I'm back and forth with them.
I got to ask this because we've talked about Justin Fields being immune to criticism before, and I finally started hearing it this week of all weeks. Like I not heard it, and all of a sudden, after the Giants beat the Jets, I heard two different people come out and say, "Well, Justin Fields is a one-read quarterback. If he doesn't have his read, he takes it down and he runs with it," which is what they said about Daniel Jones for years. And I understand that take, but why did no one say that when he was with Chicago? Why did no one say that when he was with Pittsburgh? And now all of a sudden they're saying it now.
It's what he's been the whole time.
Exactly.
I don't understand why if you haven't criticized him before, you shouldn't be criticizing him now. It's the same exact thing.
Right.
What you're seeing with the Jets, with the 3 for 11s passing for 42 yards, that's him. That's what he does.
Totally.
He did it with nothing's changed. He's been to 3 different organizations, 3 different styles. And yes, again, this week, we should just say in the beginning, we understand for the whole show that this is preseason. We should just say that in the beginning.
Right.
And not have to say it 100 times, right? But yeah, there's no change in the product at all. He's the exact same guy. And I really, really can't believe he still wears an NFL jersey. I can't believe this guy's still in the league.
I can't either. And I've got a potential Jet Giant trade that I'd like to throw out there. Maybe the Jets and Giants GMs can hear this. We'll trade you a 4th-round pick for Jameis Winston.
Yeah, really?
How about that?
Well, hey, I think the Giants would be open to trading Winston.
They're going to get something for him, I think.
Yeah.
Well, and the Jets are the perfect team for that because Tyrod Taylor is always hurt. He's not reliable, and I think Fields sucks. And what are we going to have? Adrian Martinez as a 3rd string? Like, let's do this. Let's trade our 4th-round pick for Jameis Winston. You guys can go into the season with Russell Wilson, Dart, and Cutlets, and off we go. I think it makes all the sense in the world. He doesn't even have to. He just walks across the stadium, right? I mean,
makes a lot of sense to me.
Right?
He's your starter, just like that.
100%.
Yeah.
Or Fields can play for 1 week and shit the bed, and then we can throw Winston in there. So let's do it.
Yep. I'm down.
Yeah.
Book it, as Peacock would say. Book it.
Can I ask you guys a question?
Sure.
Have you guys noticed who's going to be the starter in Indianapolis this year? I just heard a little rumor.
Daniel Jones? Because
Richardson
can't stay healthy. So
I mean, that would be something if he starts the whole year and wins some games out there.
Yeah.
Can't say how many games the Indianapolis Colts are going to win, but yeah.
Yeah, they're going to be tough actually, but.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty rough. But yeah, I mean, I've been saying since people started talking about Daniel Jones and getting rid of him and all that, I've been saying we're going to end up getting rid of this guy because it's not going to work. He's going to go to another team and he's going to have a solid 10, 11 more years of career. Nothing spectacular, but he clearly was not the problem for the Giants. I mean, maybe he was part of it his last couple of years, but I mean, to me, we talked about this last week. I won't belabor the point. When he refused to throw that ball in that flea flicker, that was the end.
Yep.
That was the end. That was
Panthers,
it.
Right?
Yep. That was when everyone watching just knew he's done here. He's done here. And now, I've watched a preseason game and a half of his for the Colts, and he's throwing to guys who do not look open at all. I mean, someone has gotten into his ear and said, Daniel, don't worry about throwing interceptions. Uncork this thing. Let's go. Instead of the Giants just constantly saying, you can't turn it over. You can't, and got in his head.
So Peacock, your Cowboys ran up against the preseason juggernauts every year of the Ravens this past week. But what have you taken away from preseason so far? I know it's only been 2 games. I think has it been the Rams? Not the Rams, but the Ravens.
No, it was
the Rams. Yeah.
It's funny because Senile Jerry, had went on about this great acquisition of Joe Milton, and I actually got excited. I always get excited. Oh, maybe Joe Milton's got something. Maybe he's going to take over for Dak in a year or two, and he is horrendous. I mean, I'm pretty sure I could take any one of you guys and put you behind the offensive line, and you could probably be better than him. He is just. I mean, he'll make one throw a game, like he'll bomb one, and it'll be great. But then it's just terrible. I think he was, 7 for 20 or something for 100 yards. It was horrible. And then the running back situation's not any better. And I think they're going to end up probably cutting Miles Sanders because they like the young kid out of Clemson, actually. Phil
Maffa.
Moffitt, they like him. He had injury, things at Clemson. He might be a steal.
Phil Maffa's a hard running back.
Yeah.
He is. I watched him for 4 years. He does get banged up, but it's because of his style. But yeah.
Yeah, he might be. He could be a Brandon Jacobs, brand name up from last podcast last week. But he could be a baller. But I don't know. They're going to be. I think they're going to struggle this year. I mean, I don't know. We'll see. I'm hoping not. I mean, but that kid from Alabama looks like a good pick though. That Booker, the right guard, looked good this week. So we'll see.
The Cowboys strike me as one of those teams that they have an extremely low floor and a low ceiling. Like at best they're 9-8, at worst they're 3-14. I don't, and they're a hard one to figure out. You're right, because they have, they're missing some pieces. That seems to have a weird culture going on. Schottenheimer, who was a Jet failed offensive coordinator,
right,
and then. I don't know, running game, nothing. They got this overpaid wide receiver and way overpaid quarterback. And then they bring in Joe Milton. It just seems odd. There's weird things happen there. They got this senile owner. I don't know. They just could be on the verge of massive decline, I think.
Well, Peacock, you talked about it in the opening. What do you think of Schottenheimer?
See, the thing about Schottenheimer is I don't know what he's done in the NFL. He was at the Jets. He was at Seattle. What has he done significantly that he deserves a head coaching job? And then they made a big deal about him bringing a ping pong table into the locker room because it's going to create competition. And I'm like, what?
Ping pong.
I'm like, this is not 7th grade junior high football. This is the NFL. And I'm just like, oh my God. He seems like a rah-rah guy that's going to be a 1 and 2 and done. I don't see it. I just don't see it. I mean, what has he done? What has he done anywhere? What did he do with the Jets? I mean, with Sanchez, he did get them to the NFC Championship game, but was it him or was it Rex? I mean, I don't know.
The offense sucked.
Right.
The reason he's a head coach is because his last name is Schottenheimer. So if you want to talk about what he's done in the NFL, nothing. His father did, and so he's no different than all these other. Remember when the Shula brothers got these massive jobs? It wasn't Mike Shula head coach of the Bengals.
David Shula, he was terrible.
David Shula, right?
Yeah.
David Shula. I think it's the exact same thing. I think he's getting this job because of his last name. But that's just me. I mean, I was not impressed with him as a Jet fan, and I was shocked that he got the head coach of America's team.
The funny thing is, Jerry said he called Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll let him go as offensive coordinator. He didn't want him. He let him go, and then he called, and Jerry goes, "I called Pete," and he said, Pete said, he's ready. He's so ready that you let him go when you were with Seattle as your offensive coordinator. I mean, come on, that's ridiculous.
Yep.
Yeah, I think Pete might have played with him a little bit there. Oh yeah, he's going to be the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. Yeah, he's ready. He's ready.
Jerry wanted a yes man, and he got it, and we'll see how that works out.
Yeah, that one. Jerry's he's been able to build some pretty good teams over the years, and the Cowboys have been consistently good, but that is the one common truth, Peacock, is he wants a yes man.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? People talked about McCarthy, and McCarthy didn't get hired by anyone. So I think he might be done in the NFL. You never know. So I think it was time for a change. I just don't think that change should have been Schottenheimer, but we'll see what happens.
The Cowboys need to bottom out. They do. They need that 1-15 Babe Laufenberg year again, where they are the dregs of the NFL, and then they turn it around. They just need to get there. And there's this middling shit that they've done for 25 years it can't continue.
No, Colin Cowherd said on Fox, and I would love this, but he said, I see Schottenheimer 1 and done. He goes, I see Saban coaching the Cowboys. That's what the Cowboys need. But they need a Saban, like a Parcells type of guy, because the last time they were really solid and you felt good about him was when Parcells was there, and then he went with Wade Phillips, and then Jason Garrett and McCarthy, all these milquetoasts, and it's like you need a tough guy.
Yeah,
but I think Saban has a chance to go to the Giants, though, to be honest with you, if he wants to come back, because if Daboll doesn't make it.
The only thing I'd say about this, if you're a team, do you want Belichick? Do you want Saban? Do you want even Cowher? Those guys, I mean, they're getting up there in age. Do you really want those? Yeah. They're showing Pete Carroll in preseason tackling people out on the training field. He's 72 years old or whatever he is, and it's
taking his shirt off.
Do you really want these other guys there? I don't know if Saban wants to coach in the pros. Does he really want to fail, or does he want to take that on And do you want a guy dying on the field as your head coach?
Yeah, but he's they made a good point though. He's the type of guy like his personality and he believes he got screwed by the doctors in Miami. That if they had not if they gave him Breeze, if Breeze would have signed with Miami if the doctor said no, he's not good. And he feels like if he got Breeze, he would have been really successful, probably a Super Bowl champion in Miami. So he wants to prove that he can do that. And I think he's the kind of guy that would do that. He wants to prove it.
But he's too busy with Airbnbs, hanging out.
I know.
So we got the last preseason games coming up, So we got the Giants against the Patriots, the Jets against the Eagles, Cowboys are playing the Falcons. Anything you guys are looking for? I mean, I've heard actually the Giants are not playing their starters, so that's good. Dart will probably play. I'll say what I always say. I don't want to see any injuries, and there's a couple bottom of the roster guys, at least on the Giants, that have been making waves that we're going to get a look at. Turbo Miller at running back. We're going to probably see Washington at wide receiver along with Collins. I think there might be some odd men out. We'll save that for next week when we do the going into the season podcast talking about roster additions. But anything you guys are looking for? I'm really not looking for anything. I didn't even watch this game. I didn't think I was going to watch the Jets game, and it happened to be on a Saturday night at home, so I was like, yeah, I'll watch it. But
I mean, go ahead, Mike.
I was just going to say there's nothing happening here right in this game. You like to see these guys who are kind of on the outside looking in, or maybe just on the inside. You like to see them do a little bit more to kind of cement their roster spot. But mostly, I'm looking around the rest of the league to see, because it's pretty telling. At least it's been this way the past few years, right? Is the starting quarterbacks for the teams this week are generally guys who that team is looking to get rid of.
Yep.
Right. So you kind of can get a little bit of a clue and look around the league at who plays a bunch in these games. And a lot of times they'll put, obviously, like, DeVito might play 3/4 of this game for the Giants, but it'll be interesting to watch some other games, to see how long Fields is in, if he's in at all. So, do they let him go on what he's done so far and say, you're ready for the season? Who knows? I don't know what that looks like. So it's always just a fun little peek to see who played in these games, because that can sometimes be telling.
Like I texted you guys, if I were the Giants, I wouldn't let Dart sniff the field, because you take like I said, pull a Costanza. The guy is like a god right now. Why let him go out there and potentially have a bad game? He's going in with good vibes into the regular season. I would throw Cutlets out there and for 3/4, let Winston play a quarter and just roll with that, because this game means absolutely nothing. Why risk injury? Why risk him having a bad experience? Like, let him just sit and let the Giant fans and the Giant organization do what they need to do with this guy. I think Dable, Peacock mentioned about Dable not being there. He has his card. He's not going anywhere with this kid. So Dable will be back next year, because Dart's going to come in somewhere in the season, and he's got his ticket. Dable's like the sales guy that makes the one big sale and lives off of it for 5 years. Like, it's exactly what he has right now.
He got the Penske account.
Exactly. So with the Jets, for the Jets for the last game, I really watched this game to see, like, the guys that could hang on as backups or maybe make the practice squad, and the starters aren't going to play. I'd like to see a couple of the skill position players, like, our drafted rookie wide receiver and Donovan Edwards. Do they have something? Could they make the team? That kind of stuff. Other than that, I don't really give a crap about game 3 of the preseason.
It'd be interesting if the Giants made a good move, I think, in signing Winston. And if I was them, I'd play him 2/3, because someone's going to want him.
Yeah. I agree.
And the better he looks, I mean, it might be a 5th, it might be a 4th, but someone's going to get hurt, someone's going to need him, and then I would just showcase him. But do you guys remember when we were kids, and I don't know how old you guys are, but I'm assuming, I know Mike is the same as me. Wasn't it when we were kids, the last preseason game, all the starters still played one series, didn't they? They played one series.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, or a quarter.
The Cowboys don't play any starters the whole Dak doesn't play the entire preseason. I hate that. I just think you need at least I like to see the whole offense go in there in the last game, play one series of 4 or 5 plays, just to get the feel of being together like that. I just hate that they don't play at all. I just think it's stupid.
Yeah, I do feel like it was more fun back then. I feel like back in the Parcells and Jimmy Johnson and Joe Gibbs days, it was like, okay, starters, you're out there till you score.
Yeah.
Get me 3 points and you can come off. It was things like that. And it's just everyone is, we're in this world where you can be literally criticized for anything. And if you have the starters out there the week before the regular season and God forbid your quarterback rolls his knee, even if he only is going to miss 1 week, you're a moron.
Yep.
And it's not always true. I mean, matter of fact, it's probably not true. The odds of an injury are so incredibly low, and this could be a pet peeve for me one day, but I always say America's got a risk assessment problem. I think it's spilled over into sports as well. I know why would you even, I get the whole thought process of why would you even risk it, right? Why would you even risk some fluky thing happening? But, you got to weigh it against how much work you think people need and how much the experience of going head to head, especially your younger guys, means. I'd love to see players play more in the preseason, but I'm also glad it's just down to 3 games.
Yeah.
Well, I think we had the perfect storm hit in the last few years. So you had the reduction in the number of games, and then the collective bargaining agreement told people you couldn't practice too many times.
Right.
So you cut down on your practices. You have fewer preseason games. The joint practices are really where the coaches will tell you they get the most out of everything, but you only have a limited number of those. So when the regular season comes around, like Novak has mentioned a couple times in the preseason pods, the quality is shit. And I'll say this too. I heard this today, which was counterintuitive to me. They asked someone, I think it was on ESPN, what is the remedy for reducing injuries going into the season? And they said playing more in the preseason. The more you play, the less frequent you're going to get injured. And almost like Mike, what we said when we were talking about those stats from the kickoff.
Yeah.
No, that's not true. The more you play, the more you're going to get injured. And this happens every year. I mean, there's a guy that gets injured in the preseason every year, 1 or 2. And then usually it's in practice, but they can happen in the preseason game. So far, in the preseason games this year, we've seen 3 guys carted off in ambulances and taken off the field, which is more than I've seen in recent years. Some serious stuff happening.
You didn't really see that. Don't pay attention to that. It's not
player safety, Scott.
Player safety.
I don't know if any of them happen on kickoffs because I'm told kickoffs are ultimately safe. But
no, kickoffs are the most safe thing in the world. Kickoff more people get hurt getting into bed than get hurt in kickoffs in the NFL.
So did you guys have any observations around the league? I will say this. Gabriel played for the Browns this week. Looked pretty good, but he did have a couple of interceptions, and they were very quick to point out the interceptions. And then today, just before coming on the pod, Joe Flacco's named the starter for Cleveland. So it's not going to be Shedeur. It's not going to be Gabriel. I really don't know what's going to happen there. They're going to have to carry 3 quarterbacks. I know that.
Shedeur must have been. I mean, you heard reports that maybe he wasn't the greatest in practice. He looked pretty good in the game he played. For the Cleveland Browns, who they could have prime Aaron Rodgers out there this year. They're going to struggle this year. Why go with Flacco? I don't know. I mean,
yeah. If you're going into your season with Joe Flacco at a 39-year-old statue as your quarterback, you can't have any hope. I mean, even I can, with Justin Fields, can say maybe he can run for 500 yards in a game. But I mean, what are you doing with Joe Flacco?
Delaware Blue Hens, baby.
Yeah. Good Lord.
Yeah, I mean, when someone's impressed a coaching staff because there are still guys who, they talked about Dart, they talked about everybody, just let's draft him. We know he's not going to start right away. And that's kind of weird to hear in this day and age now where everyone's expected to contribute right away. But I was surprised by how many people said about Dart and then Penix last year, the year before, they were like, well, we're not going to. So that seems to be coming back in fashion now, wanting to sit a quarterback for a while, because for a while there, like in the mid 2015s to 2020, it was if you draft this guy in the first round, he better be on the field, and he better be on the field week 1. And that seems to have gone out of favor a little bit, except unless you're the number 1 overall. I guess that's still the expectation for that role. But
did both Jaden Daniels and Drake May start week 1? I think they did, but I could be
Daniels did, yeah.
Jake May did not. I think Jacoby Brissett started for a few weeks, if I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken.
you're right. Yes, yeah, he did.
I think you're right.
You're right.
But one thing I wanted to point out, and I know it's only 2 preseasons. I feel like you're right, Mike. I have to qualify this every time I say something. I know it's been 2 preseason games, but something to me is saying that this Travis Hunter is going to be a bust. And I don't know why. I'm not watching Jaguar games, but I'm hearing like he seems to be injured. He's got this divorce thing going on. They made this massive trade for this guy. He's not really a wide receiver. He's not really a corner. I think they thought they had like the Shohei Ohtani of football. I don't know. Something's telling me something's odd about this guy. I'm not a big Travis Hunter guy, to be honest.
I think anyone who can wear that look of a Klingon with pride, he can go for it. He's a weird looking dude.
He's a weird guy in general. So something's off with this dude. I don't know. I don't know if this goes down as a bad trade or yeah, something's strange.
I heard the wife already left and wants like 50% of the
and he didn't invite Deion Sanders to the wedding, which you're supposed to be close with Deion. Obviously Deion brought him to Colorado. It's weird. I don't know. I agree. There's something weird there going on.
Something's off with this guy. I'm telling you. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but that just seems odd.
We might get this as the season goes on, but if you look at it too, Cam Ward's not looked really good in preseason. Hunter's got some questions. I don't know what's happening at the top of the draft class, but we'll see. Guys, sad news today. He hit 100 years old, and then Marv Levy checked out.
Oh, he died?
Oh
he
no!
Did?
Yeah,
Wow.
I think he died today. At least that was an alert I got. Now I will tell you, I was traveling today, but I think he passed. He made it to 100 though.
Made it to 100.
Wow.
He did. Do you think his last 2 words were wide right?
That was pretty good. Poor Marv.
Poor Marv. He was a great coach, though. I mean, 4 Super Bowls. I know they lost all 4, but is that ever going to happen again?
Oh my
4
gosh.
Super Bowls in a row. I don't see it. Even the Chiefs couldn't do it. So I mean, with Taylor Swift and everything. So that just says something.
We're probably going to get into that a little bit later, Novak. I know that, but so I know Peacock.
I'm getting up. Sorry, Scott, but I think this is worth interrupting. I believe we have buried Marv Levy too early.
Oh my God!
Does not appear he is dead.
Poor Marv.
I don't know. We tried to bury him. I think he's still with us.
All right.
Well,
saw
Scott
it earlier as breaking news. So
Scott has done this before with the Schwab.
Yeah, that's right. He killed off the
Schwab, and then he died like a month later or something. So if you're ever getting mentioned about death and Scott is saying it, just stay in your house and don't leave.
Well, now I get a report that he is dead.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. It's all over the place right now. There's all sorts of conjecture here.
When you're 100, I think it's day to day. You're day to day. You're not week to week. You're day to day. So
there's a website called Bill's Mafia something that has reported him dead, but nobody else is doing that. So yeah. If you're still with us, Marv, hang in there.
Wide right.
He looked good last week or whenever he turned 100. I think it was last week. He
doesn't look like he's aged a day since Super Bowl 25.
No, but he looked be on there on the sideline.
But he looked old then.
By the way, I have to laugh at our own podcast every now and then. So I re-listened to last week's podcast, and not only did the pole vault segment crack me up, but the Tom Dempsey segment at the end of the podcast cracked me up so much. I think I have to highlight that one and put it as a separate video because that was just Cardot going along with his leg being a club and us talking about the perfect level foot that he had. That was good stuff.
That was good stuff.
Peacock, any Cowboys podcasts out there that are nearly as funny as us?
Not that I know of. No, there's this is it. But I want to say one thing, as you said around the league. Have you guys heard anything about R.J. Harvey in Denver? If you guys are fantasy guys, they say that Sean Payton loves this kid. He's out of Florida, I think, somewhere in Florida. What school is he out of, R.J. Harvey? So
Is he a
somewhere in
running
Florida.
back?
Yeah, so it was in South Florida. Anyways, they say this kid is dynamite. So if you guys are fantasy guys, you might want to grab him early. But
RJ
All right.
Harvey, I'm gonna stock that one away. Thank you.
Yeah, file that
Sean
one away.
Payton loves him, and Payton,
No.
Sean Payton. He loves
Oh yeah, absolutely he does.
Now that the three of us are all in the same fantasy league, so we're like,
I
shit.
There you go. I gave you the pick, the sleeper.
So I know Peacock's a little far away, but September 2nd, guys, we have a live podcast at the Carolina Beer Temple in Matthews, North Carolina. Last year was just so much fun. This year it's indoors. I'm in Dallas right now. It was 105 today.
Oof.
So my car actually
Ugh.
said 112. So it was 105 today. It was really hot last year at the Carolina Beer Temple. This year, I don't care how hot it is because it'll be indoors. We're gonna be doing football trivia. There's a lot of stuff there.
Do you stream it
it's
live?
a fun time. We are. Well, I don't know if we're gonna
Because
stream
last
it
year I couldn't
live.
find it. I was looking all over. I'm like, why can't I get on this? I thought it was gonna be live, and I couldn't find it.
We posted it after the fact. We did not show
Okay.
it live. We've been experimenting, trying to find some live streams and things like that to do. So we may end up doing that in the future.
Yep, and if anyone is in the Charlotte or Matthews area Saturday, we will be doing a walkthrough, so to speak, of the live pod at Carolina Beer Temple, where we will be meeting with the owner of Beer Temple as well as their DJ and party planner guy and
Rehearsal dinner.
We're a rehearsal. We're gonna put together a show for the ages. I'll just say that. And you're going to be, if you think it's a show for the ages, you might be wildly disappointed. But we're going to do the best we can to put on a good show.
Hey, last year's fun was a lot of fun.
It was great. It was so much fun.
I had a blast. I think everyone had a blast. By the end of the night, the beers were flowing. Everything was great. So
Mike looked a little uncomfortable when they announced him and he walked in. Like, Mike, just relax.
Yeah, I was.
You know me. A little nervous, but it'll be all right.
I don't like people. So
Peacock, talk to our intern Darren to see if you can get some cheap flights.
Okay.
We'll get you down there.
Yeah, we'll hook you up with Darren and see if we can get you.
You don't talk to Darren. He's been under the weather this past during the preseason.
Yeah,
we've had some issues.
Yeah,
Darren struggled a little bit. So if anyone else listening in the Charlotte area knows anything about podcast production or anything like that, show up at the Carolina Beer Temple
on the 23rd at 1 o'clock.
Open
we
interviews.
cannot pay you.
No.
Well, we can pay you in beer.
Yeah.
And we'll give you some free merch.
Merch too. So since Peacock may be still gathering his thoughts, Mike, pet peeves. I'll start with you.
Yeah, I got a quick one because I think you already tipped your hand, Scott, and I don't want to step all over yours, so I'm not going to use that one. So here's my pet peeve, and it's actually something that happened right at the beginning of our podcast tonight, and I immediately wrote it down because it's happened a lot to me today, but it's just in general, I think it happens to anybody. How come people can't figure out they're on mute on a meeting at work? What is? I mean, do they need to? I think they need to make the button bigger, don't they? They it needs to be so obvious that you're on mute.
Make the button bigger.
I mean, people all day. My whole day is telling people, yeah, you're on mute.
I love it.
No, I can't hear you. You're on mute. So yeah, come on, Teams. These other things. Make the mute button bigger. Make a big red light flash. Just let people know they're on mute. You can save.
Good.
I can't even imagine how many hours of meetings I've wasted over the past 3 years going, I can't hear you. I can't hear you.
I will say this, Mike. My Teams updated recently, and now when you start Teams, it's automatically on mute. Before it used to be like once 4 people are in the meeting, it puts you on mute. Now it's like anytime I just go in a meeting, you're on mute. So I'm over there going, people are like, you're on mute. I can't hear you. I'm like,
yeah, It's bad. I'll tell you, I was doing a big presentation once for like a lot of people, and I got started and I got going.
Tell me this did not just happen.
No, I think he's doing it. That's great.
Okay.
That is great acting. That is great acting. He's up for an EGOT.
Well done, Mike.
No, I think he is on mute. Is he still on mute? He is on mute.
Tell me he's not really. This is
would be
joke,
funny
right?
if he was really on mute.
You guys need to be kidding me right now. Did my mic drop
Yeah.
in the middle of that bit?
Yes.
I swear to you, that was not planned.
Doing a bit
That was not planned.
on mute. This is like your pet peeve come to life.
You're same thing. We can't hear you again. It just happened again.
I can't believe it. I think my headphones just died right in the middle of that rant.
Did you like Scott was mocking me? He thought that you were actually being like I didn't realize you were joking, and you weren't.
No, I was not.
Mike's a great actor. Look at that.
Yeah.
I should have played along.
That's great.
Yeah, bigger mute buttons.
Novak, pet peeve?
Yeah, so my pet peeve is going to start out sounding like it's a Justin Fields pet peeve, but let me just confirm it is 100% not. It is what I sent you guys the other day, and it's the sports media that now I think as a podcast, we take risks and we say this is going to happen and we make predictions and we say this person sucks, that person sucks, and the media they can't do anything. They have to put a qualifier in there. And I sent you guys this one. Here's what the headline was from this tool, Ryan Dunleavy. By the way, let me tag this guy and put this out there because I'm going to help
write his beat
articles.
writer, by the way.
He's a Jets and Giants beat writer.
Yeah.
He sucks. Here's his article for the Jets. Justin Fields has elite offensive tools if the Jets use him right. So what is he doing right there? Right there, he's saying he could be this great guy if they use him right. And if they don't use it, if he doesn't show it, I was right because they didn't use him right. But if he's great, I was right again. Take a stance on something, you tool. And so he also last year, I read a Giants article he wrote. He said, I highly believe Shedeur Sanders will be the Giants' next QB from things I've heard in the building. So again, he can't say, I believe that Shedeur Sanders is going to be the Giants' quarterback. He's now going to say, well, they were telling me in the building that he was going to be the quarterback. So I'm not wrong. And so I was going to say to this idiot, Ryan Dunleavy, I'm going to write your next 5 articles. And here's your headlines. 1, Breece Hall can run for 2,000 yards if they give him the ball enough. How about Will McDonald can get 20 sacks if he plays every down and never gets double teamed? Or Aaron Glenn can win 10 games if they score more points than the other opponent in 10 of 17 games? Or the Chiefs won't win the Super Bowl if Pat Mahomes tears his Achilles in week 1? Like, take a chance on something, like, you idiot, Ryan Dunleavy. So, and this is not uncommon. We see this all the time. These beat writers and whoever they are can never just take a stance on anything. They've got to put a qualifier in there. And Mike called it out, so he was right. And then I noticed it, and I went back and looked at all his other articles. He does it all the time. So it's this guy, Ryan Dunleavy, and all the other people that do this.
It's not just him. Can you guys hear me, by the way?
Yes.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay.
You're not on mute.
You have the echo. We know you're not on the headphones, but you're.
Yeah, I feel like I'm calling in from the field here. Yeah, he's not the only guy, but he certainly is one of the most prominent ones, Novak. And you're spot on. You know, you write a headline like that, and you can't be wrong.
No.
Because if Justin Fields sucks, you can go, well, they didn't use him right. I mean, you can't be wrong.
No.
And, everything's qualified and everything's a qualifier. And
they do it all the time. Yep. And it's not just him. And they all do it. And it's frustrating as hell. Like, how about just like putting yourself out there and just saying something and then not, or going back on it? Like, I don't know. I'm just frustrated by all of it.
The other one that always got me was, they overreact to everything, to every word, to every drop pass, to every completed pass. They overreact to everything. So now what does every sports show have in common? Well, let's overreact segment, right? So they're just saying, oh, we know we're overreacting, but let us overreact anyway.
Right.
It's
sports
media they're lazy and terrible.
They're all lazy. Yep. So that was my pet peeve.
Peacock, pet peeve?
It's funny. The pet peeve is how soft these coaches have been forced to be. There's a Netflix Dallas Cowboy thing starting tomorrow on the Cowboys. And one of the stories is Jimmy Johnson after they lost the game went to the airline attendants and said, "Don't feed them. They don't deserve to have food." Imagine if today someone did that. Imagine if Brian Dable said it came out that he didn't feed the players on a flight home. Like it would be chaos. It would be on every channel. And so everyone's gotten so soft. It's like, to me, it's ridiculous. I just heard there was a union rep on one of the teams went to the union because the coach had them practice too many days in a row in pads. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Don't they play in pads? Like, what? It's just, to me, it's amazing. You can only practice so many days in a row. You can only have pads on so many days. But for the whole year, they have a number of days you can practice in pads. It's just, to me, it's getting to be like almost too much. It's the softness that we're experiencing is just unbelievable to me. That's
that's a great one, because for me, for years, like I played small fry football. I played football growing up too, and every now and then you'd come to the sideline, the coach would grab you by the face mask, and he would yell at you, and that was nothing. He was just yelling at you about what you needed to do to get better, and you got better.
Yep.
Nowadays, people see that as being an act of aggression. It's almost borderline abuse. I mean, they're like, "Oh, he grabbed the player coming off the field." You have this kind of thing. And I remember being in school too. And anytime you were in school, like there would be a fight that would break out, and a teacher would come in and jack the guy that's doing the fight up against the locker. And that was fine, because he was removing that person from the situation. Right. Nowadays, the teacher's getting in trouble because he touched a student who was disrupting things. So you're seeing this kind of thing happen in real time now, and it goes with society. But I will say this: the softness thing is something that has started to take hold, because we don't allow our kids to be yelled at without ramifications anymore. And I really have a problem with that, because I think you need to teach people the principles before anything else.
Yeah, great.
Well, I mean, the other thing too, when you think about it, these NFL players have been told they are like, God's gift to football for probably their previous 15 years of life. And they're being recruited by colleges, telling them how great they are, how much they want them. And then they have to be nice to them where they're there, so they don't have to transfer. And so it's constant coddling of these guys. And then what are they going to get to the NFL, and all of a sudden they're going to have tough love? It's not going to work.
Right.
And I mean, so you're right. And it's just, and I hate that. I think college is where it starts, because other than Arch Manning, who, good for him that he stuck it out, and like now he's going to be the starter. If you don't start, I'll go somewhere else. And so it's just this entitlement BS, and it's worked its way into the NFL. You're 100% right. I love that pet peeve, and it's just the way it is, sadly. And it's not like it used to be. And don't watch the documentary, because it's just going to make you sad. Because I watched the sack exchange thing, and I told these guys last year on a pod, I was almost in tears, because I was so sad as to what the Jets are now versus what I grew up with. And you're going to be sad by watching it.
I'm sure I will be. It's going to be good, though, I think. But
it will be good. I'm looking forward to it as well.
So my pet peeve, I have two of them. The first one, I'm traveling. I'm actually in Peacock's area here. I'm in Dallas, so I'm in Dallas right now, and I had to fly, of course, to get here. And guys, it's the flying etiquette. I mean, you've seen the videos on YouTube. You've seen all that stuff happen. But here's what happens nowadays: the bell rings and everyone gets up and they just start moving forward. It doesn't matter where you are in the queue. And they always say that disclaimer. If someone has a tight connection, please let them through. And so you have these people, I have a tight connection. I have a tight connection. Well, this one guy, I'm going back to Charlotte. So this isn't on this flight. This is my previous flight. I'm going back to Charlotte. We have a tight connection. This guy raises his hand, said he has to get off the plane. And I look back and he's got a UNC Charlotte sweatshirt on. So I'm like, well, likely he's actually, his destination is Charlotte, which is where we are. So I can't imagine he's getting on a new plane. Well, doesn't this guy show up in my shuttle bus back to the parking lot?
Oh.
And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, dude, you just pissed off a whole plane full of people to get to the same exact area that I am 3 rows after you or whatever. And it's like, why? What are we getting to? I don't understand. If you're in the back of the plane, just wait your turn. I get it. You know what I mean? It's frustrating. It's one of those things people want to get off, but the etiquette has gone to shit. There's no etiquette anymore.
You can't claim to have another connection. That's stolen valor. You can't. Those people getting on another flight, those are warriors, man. Those guys are dragging their kids in like 5 bags and like just it takes off in 8 minutes. They're trying to get there. We should be like jumping up on the seats to get out of their way and like, yeah, go. People are warriors.
It's not even just the etiquette. You're so right, Scott, but also like, and we're going to, we always sound old, so I don't really care. Like, I see people on these flights, did you bother brushing your teeth? Like, they just rolled out of bed and into the flight. Pajamas slippers. Like, what are you doing? Like, what is wrong with you? Like, I'm not expecting you to roll up in a suit, but can you at least look like you're not just lying in bed? What the hell?
We remember the movies from the 50s and stuff? Like getting flying, we like put a suit and tie on to fly.
Exactly.
You put a suit and tie on to go to a Canadians game back then.
Or a baseball game. Remember that? They're all wearing fedoras.
Everyone has a fedora.
Yeah. God.
So my second pet peeve is that it's funny that I'm going here because the infamous Bengals thing, but it's the discussion point about starters playing in the preseason or not. And the funny thing is, like we joke about this. No one gives a shit about the preseason. The coaches don't, the players don't, the fans really don't. But yet the announcers still seem to go, well, hey, he's not playing them in the preseason. What's going on here? Why are they not playing them? And the sad part is that you're going to see some of these players, like Dexter Lawrence, may not play in the preseason at all for the Giants. I'm perfectly fine with that. You might see that with Saquon Barkley. You might see that with someone else, who's prominent. It is a coach's decision. Let the coach stand by that. But for people to second guess who's playing the starters and who's not, it is the part of preseason that I think has just gone off the rails.
Yeah, and it's not getting any better. I mean, it's just not. And it's getting worse every year. And let's just get to 2 games at this point. 18 regular season, 2 preseason games, and let's just be done with it. We know we're going there. We know it's happening. Well, the 4th game used to be the throwaway game. Now it's the 3rd game. Let's just get to 2. Let's just call it what it is.
Practice with that team all week and then play a game on Saturday.
Exactly. Let's just do it.
Yep.
Like, what are we waiting for? Just stop it.
And I'm not going to throw Peacock under the bus here, but one of the preseason guys that did so well last year was Trey Lance with the Cowboys. And look, the Cowboys got rid of him. He's now with the Chargers, and he's still a backup. He's going to be a backup. He's never going to be a starter, I don't believe. But it's one of those things that's the thing. People are like, well, how can you let Trey Lance go after this? Well, Trey Lance did nothing after this, or he didn't look great. And he had great stats in one game from a touchdown standpoint. He also had a ton of interceptions.
Yeah.
And the thing about Trey Lance, too, do you forget, is he had a pretty good contract because he was a first-round pick for 49ers when we traded for him. So they had to let him go because he was getting pretty good money. And as a backup, you can't pay him that much.
Yeah, it bleeds into other things we talk about, but preseason is just another example. I mean, like it or not, the most knowledgeable fan on earth, which none of us are, they don't know shit about what goes on within a team.
Mm-hmm.
They know nothing. They know less than nothing.
No.
Peacock will probably remember this from we can probably look up easily to find out what year it is. But I heard on ESPN one night leaving the house that Chris Carter got cut.
Yeah.
And I came out and I told everybody, we're driving to some bar. I'm like, I swear to you, I heard on the way out the door that Chris Carter got cut.
And these guys, Eagles? The Eagles, right?
Yeah. And these guys railed on me all night. Oh yeah, no, Mike. I heard LT got cut.
I felt bad for Mike. It was so bad. I felt bad for Mike. That's how bad we were. We're like, are you crazy, Chris Carter? Why would they cut? Yeah, Mike. Oh yeah, Randall Cunningham got cut too, buddy. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah,
It was terrible.
Yeah, there's things going on we don't know about. That's
right.
All.
So now this isn't a pet peeve, but I wanted to do some segment on this before we got to the questions, and I saw a segment on ESPN today called Patience or Panic. And they talked about all these different people, like, Terry McLaurin holding out. Patience or Panic. Oh, patience. So-and-so. Cam Ward not playing so well in the preseason. Patience or Panic. Patience. The one panic was Malik Neighbors, is he injured or not? And it was panic because they think he's injured and maybe out for half of the year. And this is the kind of shit, guys. They have to fill the airwaves. I get it, but what is actually what is transpired to think that Malik Neighbors is going to be out for half the year?
Wait,
Nothing.
I didn't. What's wrong with him? I didn't know that.
Nothing. He's had a couple. He's had a couple dings, but he's just been sitting out preseason. That's it.
Oh my God.
Yeah, people get upset these days. Like media and some fans believe we have the right to see our favorite players play in the preseason, and they get defensive and upset sometimes if it doesn't happen. What are you hiding? All right, what are you hiding from us?
And Neighbors loves Wilson. I heard they said so. That's important.
Well, and I've heard that Dable likes both Wilson and Dart. I mean, I really do think Dart is not. Well, I know I'm stepping on one of your questions, Peacock, but I do think that Dart's not going to play right away. I think there's going to be something there. So getting into Peacock's corner first, he does have a question that he asks: is it a good sign that we're sticking with Russ, even though Dart looks great, and he could add some context to this. But guys, I like the fact we have a veteran here. Dart can learn. He could get behind him. But if Dart has to come in, I think Dart would be okay. I think it would be a waste of resources if we signed Russ, we signed Winston, and we signed Dart, or we drafted Dart, and all of a sudden we just scrap all that. That's my personal opinion. I think Russ has actually looked really good as a Giant.
All you have to know is Allen, Mahomes, Jackson, and Hurts all sat.
Yep.
End of discussion in my mind.
Wait. So did Love.
Okay, sure, but he's not at that level.
Dak never sat, by the way. But no, but I think it's a good sign. I think that if Dable was looking at this team and he said, "Oh, this team's horrible. We got no chance," I think he would start Dart, and he could say, "Look, if he progressed through the year, he could say, look, we're making progress. Give me another year with this kid." But the fact that he's going with Russ, I think in his mind he thinks, wait, we got a chance here. We can win some games, and more than people think we can. And I'm going with the veteran because I think I got a team that can win some games. That's what I think, at least.
Yeah. That makes sense. And just to harken back what I was just talking about a little bit too is, there are quarterbacks out there and people in other positions too who've looked great in this preseason. But if you ask their coaches would say, it might have looked good on the field, but he's not practiced well.
Yep.
Several mistakes that, the common fan doesn't even see, and vice versa. There's lots of players who maybe like a Cam Ward, maybe he hasn't shown anything to us on camera, but his coaches might be back there just salivating, waiting to get this thing rolling for the season. So I agree with Peacock. I do think that in my mind right now, knowing what I know, unless Dart's been terrible in practice and prep and all that, which he doesn't seem to have been, but that Brian Daboll thinks this team can win some games. I do think Dart, in all likelihood, has shortened his sitting time. This really, to me, looks really very much like the Kurt Warner and Eli scenario, where, the Giants come out, they were like 3-1 or 4-1 or something to start the year with Warner. Then they lost a few games in a row, and the wheels hadn't come off yet, but you could read the writing on the wall. The schedule was going to about to get harder, and Coughlin made the decision to go with Eli. I think coming into this year, that wasn't Daboll's plan at all, but I think probably seeing Dart's body of work in practice in the preseason, that might be on the table now. Something of that nature.
I mean, if we did a pod, I think it might have been you, Peacock, that asked this question a few pods ago, where when do you think Dart will play? I think we all answered it, and I said I think he's playing Week 9 Bears after the bye. Soft landing, bad team. Well, not a great team, because I think you play the Eagles maybe in 8 or whatever. There's a game before that is not an easy game, and I thought that would be a nice way to throw him in the game. I think you'll be 3-6, 4-4, 3-5 at that point, much like you did with Eli. It's a perfect spot for him.
What I'm wondering too is what the coaching staff thinks of Dart too. We've seen it. I think they've been impressed with him, and I wonder, are we going to see a situation like we did in this past preseason game where Dart comes in for a play or two situationally or things like that? I never liked, as a fan, I don't like that, but I can maybe see that, as a package, Mike, like that.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
The Giants have never been good with that. They telegraph everything they ever have done on offense, going back to the 80s.
The best thing would be bring Dart in a package and have him hand the ball off for a 4-yard gain front on 2nd and 3 or something.
Remember, the Giants would do something like bring Meggett in on 2nd down and put him at wide receiver, and everyone in the stadium's like, reverse. It would just happen.
So Peacock, he mentioned this earlier, though. He said, is it him or do the Jets look like a 3-win team this year? And any signs of life? I'll answer this one first because I did bet on the Jets for the over. I think the Jets and their defensive qualities are good enough to get a 5 to 6 win season in. If Justin Fields is that bad, I think they can pivot off of him. And I do think Justin Fields is that bad. Just put it that way. But I also think they have 2 great running backs, and they have some wide receivers that can really cause some damage here. So, I mean, Garrett Wilson is a top-flight wide receiver. If you can just get him the ball, it doesn't have to be Wilson, or it doesn't have to be Fields that gets him the ball. Just anyone that gets him the ball, I think they're going to blow that win total out. And they also play the Patriots twice and the Dolphins twice.
Yeah, and the Saints are mixed in there too.
And the Panthers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think they are. I think they're better than 4.5 wins. I agree with Scott. His take is spot on, and I like the coaching. I think that Fields is awful, and I think they'll get to 2-5, 2-6, 3-7, something like that. And I think you'll see a quarterback switch of Tyrod Taylor or someone else because he's so bad that they've got to make a change. And I think they rip off a couple wins there. I think they're a 6 or 7 win team. That's my prediction.
Cleveland's also in there.
So their schedule is not tough.
It's hard to see,
tough, but yeah.
Any context to add, Peacock, since you asked the question?
Well, look, I think the Patriots are going to be the surprise team. I think Patriots are going to be really
Patriots
good.
are gonna be good.
I love the coach. I love the quarterback, and I think that's two tough games. I think, but Bills they lose both of those. I think the Dolphins are going to be not as good as they have been in the past. I don't love the coach and the quarterback soft as Cottonelle, but I will say, but that's probably 1-1. I don't know. I see 3 or 4 wins at best. I don't know. I just did this. There's nothing to look at to me without a quarterback. If you give me
Hard.
Justin Fields, I'm going to say I don't know. I
We
just
might
I just don't. I don't know.
we might have to put a side bet on this because I don't see it with the Patriots. Novak also thinks the Patriots are going to
They
be
do.
good. I think, see it with the Patriots.
Love the
I
coach.
just don't.
Yeah, I think the Patriots are an 8-9 win team. I really do, and I think they're on the way up. They did some stuff in free agency. They've drafted well. They got Vrabel. Drake May, I think, is the real deal. So I think the Patriots are going to be decent. And I don't think the AFC is as strong as everyone thinks it's going to be. I mean, we're very top heavy with Cincinnati and Kansas City and Baltimore, and I don't necessarily think Buffalo's going to be. I think Buffalo's window is closed, and I think McDermott is one of the coaches fired at the end of the year. So I don't know. I don't see some of those teams.
Another bold statement by Novak. We'll see if that comes true.
I might be wrong on that one, but I just something about the Bills. They at some point they can't keep just making the divisional round and getting beat by the Chiefs. At some point they're just gonna either have to take the step up or the step back, and I think they're closer to the step back than the step up.
That's an interesting way to look at that because, yeah, as you were saying that, I was thinking, man, you don't really see teams break out of that and win 3 of the next 5 Super Bowls. That's not the way that works.
I don't know that we've seen in the last 25 years a team that owns somebody like the Chiefs own the Bills. I mean, really, other than the Jets and the Patriots, I'm talking good teams. So, they just own them. They can't beat them. And if they get them in the playoffs again, they're going to lose again.
Yeah, that's a good point. It may be something I'll have to ponder when I do my season predictions next next week because I'm leaning heavily on the Bills right now, but I may have to think about that. So Peacock also asks, how shocking will it be when the Cowboys blow out the Eagles in Week 1? So I look, I'm all for it. I hate the Eagles. I hate the Cowboys, but when it comes down to who's been better lately, it's been the Eagles. So I want the Cowboys to blow them out. I don't see any Super Bowl participating team getting blown out in Week 1. It hasn't happened in a long time. Actually, I don't know if it's ever happened.
But it's that Super Bowl hangover, and I will say this: it's the most cowboy. Listen, it's the most cowboy thing to do. You guys should be happy about this. They will. I believe they beat the Eagles, and I believe they lose to the Giants Week 2. That's the most cowboy thing to do. I think the Giants beat the Redskins, and I think the Giants beat the Cowboys. It's the most cowboy thing to do. They'll win like 33-28 to the Eagles, and then they'll come back and they'll lay an egg against the Giants and lose 21-7. That's just what they'll do. That's what they do.
That's a very cowboy thing to do. It really is.
It's a really good call, actually.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't pick him in a survivor pool, but I do like that take.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it would be, you said the question was how shocking would it be? I think it would be shocking. Yeah, maybe the Week 1, the most shocking thing that could happen all year for them to just obliterate just kill them. That would be amazing. But man, I would have to not go on social media for that week. I just would have to. That would be a rough.
Well, see, here's the thing. I could see Dallas beating Philly 21-20.
Is that in Philly or in Dallas?
It's in Philly.
It's in Philly.
It's their ring.
No,
game
they always
too?
do it.
Oh,
Yeah.
Come on.
They're going to have the band there playing. It's going to be but I could see Dallas beating Philly 21-20, which isn't a bad thing. It happens. That's fine. I can't say I'm blowing them out. They're not blowing out Philly. In Philly, Super Bowl night,
that'll be tough.
Yeah. Be fun. I'm rooting for it.
Wait, but let me ask you one more thing. Let me ask you, because I'm not around next week, obviously, on your podcast. So can we just real quick, and you can change it next week if you have to. What's your division? The NFC, this is what I see. I see the Redskins and Eagles taking a slight step back. Giants taking a step up. Cowboys go back. What's your NFC East look like to you guys this year?
If I have to guess, because I'm the optimistic one, I see the Eagles winning the division. I see the Giants second, Redskins third, Cowboys fourth.
I would almost pick the same thing.
Wow.
No. I will go with a repeat of last year, which is a pet peeve of mine, how people don't get imaginative and they just pick what happened last year. But in this case, I believe it. I think the Eagles in Washington are going to be, Eagles probably in that 12-win window, Washington in the 9 or 10, and then the Cowboys and the Giants will be in the 5. Range.
I would say the same. I would say Eagles, Commanders, Cowboys, Giants. However, I will say the Cowboys are 7-10, and the Giants are a much better 7-10 than the Cowboys. In other words, the Giants are going to be competitive. They're a team on the rise. They got a young quarterback, and they're ascending. And the Cowboys are going down, but their record's going to be the same.
What's the Giants over under?
5.5.
5.5.
Oh, I'd bet the house on over on that.
I would too.
I did
100%.
that with the Jets. I did that on the Jets at 4.5.
And my last question is the best one, so go ahead, Scott.
Yeah. So sorry. So Peacock asks, what is our best type of chicken wing? And if we had to only eat one type of chicken wing flavor for the rest of our lives, what would it be? What flavor and from where? And for me, look, I'm an Elmira. I have the shirt. I am a true kid from Elmira. Elbow room, hot wings, blue cheese dressing.
Nice. Mike better pick Binghamton. Go ahead, Mike.
I will say this,
two.
Peacock. I have to mention this. I never thought I would say this being down in the South. There are some good chicken wing places down in the South. There are.
Wow.
There's a place called D.D. Pecker's. There's a place called Wing King Cafe. If Cardone was on, Cardone would tell you D.D. Pecker's and their...
Is that a strip joint?
No, it sounds like a strip joint. He would say D.D. Pecker's and their Fiesta, not Fiesta. Something like that. It's like a Southwest flavor would be the best.
Fajita Gold or something.
Fajita flavor. You're right.
Yeah. Yeah. So in my mind, and I can't reconstruct this because I've heard, and Brian can back me, tell me if this is true. In my mind, the best chicken wings I've ever had in my life were like from a 3-year period from the relief pitcher in Binghamton.
That's good.
They had it nailed, and they were the best. Now, someone told me recently, like new owners, new cooks, greasy, small wings, not quite as good as it used to be.
Not as good as it used to be.
We heard that. But there is a place here, pretty much right between our generous host and I, called Carmela's, and it's a pizza place. Carmela's are the best wings I've had in Charlotte. I don't know
what flavor.
Just either it's just like hot. I don't ever get like a flavor. I just like hot with blue cheese, like Scott. But it just, maybe it's nostalgia or whatever, but the best wings I've ever had at Carmela's weren't as good as the regular wings you get every day at Relief Pitcher from my nostalgic memory anyway.
And Brian, I'll say this too. When we say hot, it's probably not as hot. Well, when I say hot from the elbow room in Elmira, it's hot, but it's not like lemon pepper. We don't have those other things creeping in there. It's either hot, medium, mild, and that's basically. I'm a purist. That's what I'm looking for.
Novak, you're up.
Yeah, so Scott actually might be able to help me with this, and here's why. So Scott and I went to college not far apart, maybe 5 miles, Scott, 7 miles apart.
Yeah,
right?
It's probably that far. Yeah.
So you would get off Route 80, and you would take 11 and 15 out to Susquehanna and Bucknell, and there was a place called Front Street Station.
Front Street Station, yes.
Right, that's not far from Bucknell. I think it's actually closer to Bucknell than Susquehanna. for me, that was the first time I ever had wings, and I was like, this is changing my life. They're the best I've ever had, and it will never change. And it is Buffalo hot, and that was the best for me. Front Street Station.
I love that Novak. So,
Yep.
so to give you some spice there, yeah. So Novak and I were probably 20 miles away from that,
Yep.
and I took Steph on a date. Actually, my wife
Get
now,
out of here.
Peacock,
Really?
to Front Street Station
Nice.
as a undergraduate, and it was one of those where you paid like. To me, it was probably $35, but it seemed like a hell of a lot of money at the time
Yes, exactly.
for dinner. But
Scott went fancy like for
we went
for his
fancy.
wife.
So yeah, Peacock. If you ever go down Route 15 through Shamokin Dam in that area,
Yep.
you're going to see. I went to Bucknell. Novak went to Susquehanna. We're right between there.
Nice. And
Right,
no,
what are the-
blue cheese, Novak? You didn't say.
Oh, blue cheese for sure.
Thankfully, yeah, that's all there is.
And a lot of celery. I'm a celery fan.
Brian, what's the spots in New York now for relief pitchers going downhill?
The Union, I'll tell you, Carolina
Oh.
Gold at the Union is just
I was
like
just
legit.
there. I just
Carolina
had some of those a couple
Gold.
weeks
Is that-
ago.
is that-
Yes.
Yeah,
Is that South
It's-
Carolina mustard?
yeah, it's very, very, very good. It's legit, and they do the best. They win contests. It's the best. It's not the greatest
Yeah.
area to go to visit, but it's
Yeah.
good food.
Yep. No, that's awesome. That's fantastic. I will, Peacock, I had Speedies for dinner tonight.
Nice.
Yeah, brought them back.
They don't even. Oh, yeah, they know. They're from upstate New York. They know. The
Yeah.
Speeds are
Yeah. Mike knows I cook a good speedy.
nice.
So
He doesn't.
You guys got anything else tonight?
I actually do. So I'm at my parents' house in Hilton Head, and we were looking through some photo albums, and I wanted to show a picture of me as a young lad in my, for those on YouTube, my Jets shirt and my Giants helmet. So I want to say that
Got him.
if the Jets continue to suck and I just finally give up, I have proof that I was sort of maybe somewhat into the Giants back in 1977. And so there's all these pictures of me in Jet gear, by the way. But
Yeah.
nonetheless, I wish I could have said to young 6-year-old Novak, you have two choices to go here with those two outfits. Go the blue and red, because you are set up for a lifetime of hell. So
It's
I
the,
want to thank my mother for
I-
bringing out these Jet shots that she had of me.
I hope this joke doesn't fall flat, but have you guys seen Interstellar? You know that movie Interstellar? Where
the
the-
one
the-
where he
the-
like is
Yeah,
somehow
the guy
in, a,
sees
in a
the
book.
guy sees himself making a mistake in the past, and he's pounding on the window, going, "No, no!"
Yes.
Is
That's
that the one where
Novak.
the guy's in a bookcase trying to figure
Yeah.
out how to get out?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I just pictured when Novak said that. Just don't do it. No.
I wish I could go back in time and tell myself, just don't do it. Just give up. Just give up now. Go the blue and red route, and you have 4 Super Bowls that you can be happy with. But no, I did not, sadly.
That is awesome. So again, September 2nd, live podcast, Carolina Beer Temple in Matthews, North Carolina. Also, big thanks to Brian Peacock.
Yes.
Peacock,
Thanks,
Yeah,
guys.
thanks, Brian.
we love
This
having
was
you
a-
on.
Appreciate it.
Short notice. He
Love
answered
it.
the bell, man. It was awesome.
Very short notice, but
Love it.
we love having opposing people. I think we are going to get some Eagles fans. We're going to get some Redskins fans. We're going to get some opposing fans this year. So this is
Some
good.
division fans.
And
in here.
you're doing predictions next week, right?
Next week,
Good.
send in
That's a
your
good show.
predictions when we do the questions.
That's a
Send
good
in your
show always.
predictions.
Yes, good.
And Peacock, keep the questions coming, and thank you for including me in the questions. That
Yeah,
means
yeah,
a
yeah.
lot, so I appreciate it.
It's fun. I like it. Thanks, guys.
All right, fellas. See you next week.
See ya.
See ya.